Hi and welcome to BCS Careers Inspiration. This series is designed to introduce you to a range of different people who've chosen a career in technology and just hear a bit about them and their background and their experience and find out a little bit about what their job's like. So today I'm joined by Kim, who works as a software engineer. Welcome, Kim. Thanks for joining us. And the first question I wanted to ask you is just about your current job role. So what you're doing and what kind of things it involves.
Hi everyone, I think I'm doing this on a Friday morning or just about the morning, so I'm feeling good. So I'm a software engineer at Button Up Box, which is a home for the fresh dog food in the UK and in Europe. So we're a subscription-based service providing fresh, healthy, prepared food for the love of dogs. So I absolutely love dogs. So it's like a dream job for me. So I work on the platform operations team. And what I do is I'm a back-end engineer primarily. So a back-end, so if you imagine if you're going shopping online and you're clicking on an item that you want to purchase and put it into your cart, I work on how to hook those users' actions computationally to the systems in the business logic that does the calculations of totaling up the order that you're buying and things like that. So I write primarily in Ruby, which is a programming language. And I also write in C# as well, which is also another programming language. And the programming language is essentially just a way that we can write commands for the computer to understand. And it's essentially the building blocks that does magic. So when you're shopping online, these programming languages make your lives a lot easier. So all the action using on your phone as well is built using programming languages. So yeah, so that's what I do at the moment.
Thanks so much. And it's so lovely to hear that you're working in your dream job as well. And if you could give us an example of a piece of work or a project that either you're currently working on or that you've recently worked on.
Yeah, sure. So in my platform operations team, what I do is I help to build the systems that help the fulfillment centers make and manufacture the meals that goes out to these dogs, and also how they pack the boxes as well. So there's a whole process involved from getting what the customer needs in terms of what plan the dog is on, what meals they want, and also the logic of packing the boxes and getting it shipped to their door. So it's very exciting because the stuff that I'm working on, I'm writing in these programming languages, and it's actually the system that is being used to get these boxes out to people. So it's tangible boxes that are going out to these dogs in real life. So they get a range of meals and a range of treats as well.
Oh, that's so cool. And obviously that means, you know, your work's really helping the sort of end user and end result and all along that journey as well. So that's really, really cool. And I wanted to ask about, like, how did you get to where you are today? Has tech and sort of software been something that you've always been interested in, or how did you kind of end up in the role that you're doing now?
Oh, wow. It's a very long journey, actually. So, when I was at college, I was doing my A levels. I actually didn't know what I wanted to do. So, when I was filling out the UCAS form, I generally had no idea. And I think I went to my geography teacher at the time and just said, hey, I'll just do a geography degree. So, I did that. And I did, yeah, geography eventually at university. And then I moved on to do a master's in environmental modelling. And if you ask me now what that means, I actually don't really understand either. It was a bit of a whirlwind. And I think at home, my family said, hey, you can be like a lawyer or doctor. I didn't want to do those things. And so I was a little bit lost at the beginning. And I felt a lack of confidence a little bit. So I started to apply to some jobs. So I started off as an energy industry analyst when I finished college and university. Then I became a sustainability consultant and then a business application consultant. So what I did was I worked on a range of projects to help sort of buildings become more energy efficient. And I didn't actually want to do that for my whole life. So I had a little bit of a moment where I generally felt a bit upset, compared myself to others, but I felt like I needed to reach out to someone for help. So I did. I reached out to the community and they were really lovely. And they said, "Hey, Kim, have you tried coding?" And I actually thought that you needed like a computer science degree to be able to get into coding or be really good at maths, which I wasn't at the time. And someone said, "Oh, you don't actually need these things. You just need to know what does the end user want as a product and be curious to learn." So I followed my curiosity. I went to a lot of meetups around the UK, especially in London and Manchester. I attended 3 workshops to begin with because I didn't come from a particularly well-off background, so I didn't have the sort of money to pay upfront for a coding course. So I saw all the free options first, and that was lovely. And then fortunately, I landed a scholarship at a coding bootcamp called Makers, so they sponsored my place. But I think without the scholarship, I would have tried sort of free routes and apprenticeships to begin with anyway. And then, yeah, I became a software engineer, learnt to code and asked lots of questions. I worked in finance, I've worked in e-commerce, so that's all the logic that does all the shopping carts online. And I also worked as a tech coach as well to teach others about coding and also stuff that can help in the software engineer roles. So software engineering is not just about coding, it's also about how you work with your users, how you work with all the stakeholders, how you work as a team to test your product, write really well crafted, well tested code, because at the end of the day, someone's going to use it. So it's either your friends or family is going to use the app, or it's someone who is on the streets going to be using the app. So that's quite rewarding to actually see like someone using an app that you've been working on, for sure. So yeah, a long journey. But I think because I followed my curiosity and I didn't compare myself to others' paths, I felt like I could ask questions and try and explore a bit more to get to where I am today.
No, that's great. And I guess like every step of the way, even when the things aren't right for you, you're still learning about your own skills and you're still meeting new people and you're still gaining new experiences along the way. So even though something's not right for you, it doesn't mean that it was like a waste of time or a wasted opportunity, because it's always a chance to learn something as well, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think because I grew up, I didn't like in Manchester, I didn't really have any role models that actually had a degree in computer science or worked as a software engineer. And I think things are changing now, which is great because there's more and more people taking an interest in coding from different backgrounds.
Yeah, definitely. Which is always good to see. The more sort of diversity we have working in tech, the more fit for purpose the products and the services are going to be as well, I think, aren't they?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, what are the sort of most exciting bits about your job, or what is it about your job that makes you, get up on Monday morning and feel excited for the week ahead?
Oh gosh, it's just I love problem solving. So I love building something that actually has a purpose. And in my current role, because I'm building the actual code that takes all of the logic and all the processes to get a box out to customers, that's something that I know is making an impact. And it's also fresh dog food as well. So it's specially prepared for the love of dogs. So it's bringing the joy to the humans that are involved with dogs and also the dogs themselves. So when we get photos in from the dogs being like, hey, they're really happy, that makes me so happy. So I think there's a misconception that you have to be like this person who sits in the corner of the room, headphones on, in a jumper, cocoa code, and you have to be a bit geeky with maths. No way. Like the people I work with, just normal people. I think there's actually a benefit because I find it exciting because I understand the business side of things and I understand what the users needs. And I think that gives me an edge because then I can translate that and go, okay, these are the things that we want to build. How do we make it happen with code magic? And I feel like code is like Lego. You kind of put different blocks together and then it becomes this thing that's bigger than itself. So if you take, for example, a bike, if you take each part of that bike, then it doesn't do anything by itself. But when you put the different parts together, like the pedal, the wheel, it becomes the bike. So that's what I find so exciting about my job is a piece of code that I've written, put together multiple lines, multiple modules, multiple different objects in the code can make something happen on a bigger scale. And I also love making friends as well. So the people I work with are amazing. We have things like, tea breaks, we have parties, we have get-togethers, and it's just really nice to have the people aspect as well. So yeah, definitely like love collaborating with other teams as well as working on the code itself.
Oh, that sounds really good. And what about your sort of typical working pattern? Is it sort of Monday to Friday? What sort of hours you normally do, kind of thing? Are you mainly at home or sometimes in an office? And then also what your sort of main interests are outside of work as well?
Yeah, sure. So as a software engineer, I work flexibly and remotely. So what that means is I don't have to go and commute to a physical office every day. I can just work from anywhere I like. So if I want to work from a coffee shop, I can. If I want to work from my bed, I can. If I want to work from the sofa, I can, or my desk, I can. But I do have the option of going to the office if I wanted to. So that's really useful to get to meet people and hang out, really, because sometimes you do need that human to human interaction as well. But I also love working remotely because I sleep in a lot in the mornings. I can't get up early at all. So this is the ideal role for me. So I start roughly between 9 and 10 a.m., depending on how I'm feeling that day in terms of my morning routine. And then I finish between like 4 to 6. So again, it's flexible. So it means that, say, if you wanted to start earlier and finish earlier, you can. If you wanted to start later and finish later, you can. So I typically just work Monday to Friday. So I have like my evenings and weekends free to do other things. So outside of work, I do kendo. So on a Sunday, that's like Japanese martial art. And then on the other days, I sort of go to the gym and work out, hang out with friends. So I'm going to see someone tomorrow for waffles, which I'm really excited about. And then I also do some volunteering. So I mentor people from socially disadvantaged backgrounds to get into tech. And I also blog on my blogging platform called Curiously Code. So it's just a discovery platform if you want to learn more about tech, what a tech in like role means and how the tech industry works.
Oh, that's amazing. So that's maybe something that if anyone's watching, they can sort of check that platform out as well for themselves. And that kind of follows on to the next question, really. The last thing I wanted to ask you was about advice, and either sort of 10 years ago, if you would go back and sort of give yourself some advice about your future and your career, or if anyone's watching now and they're really inspired by what they've heard from you and are thinking, oh, maybe this type of career is for me as well, what sort of tips or advice you might give?
Yeah, so if I had to give an advice to myself early on, I would say try and seek more opportunities to attend free workshops in a community setting. So I was a little bit shy when I finished college because I didn't know what people were like. I thought everyone would be like, oh, so set on their career path and know what they're doing. But if you learn out in the open and seek community and seek that help, you can sort of learn from others. So in software engineering, we have practices like pair programming, where two software engineers can sit together and they take it in turns to code, and they sort of swap ideas and talk things out in sort of verbal form, because sometimes when you verbalize code, it makes it a lot easier to understand what it means. And the other advice that I would give is follow your curiosity. So don't worry if you have no idea what degree you're going to do or what job you're going to take next or what your career plan is, because if you follow the curiosity within you, you'll be able to find something that speaks to you a lot more. It's better to follow what you value and what you really enjoy than try to be someone else who is not you, and also try to not compare yourself to others and stay on your path, because each path is very unique. There are certain inspiration that you can get from other people's paths, like, oh, what degree did they do, or what community did they get involved in. But don't get yourself bogged down so much with that, because so many opportunities to get involved now, especially with the BCS and other communities as well. So I would say trust your gut, trust your gut, and have some fun along the way. If you're not having fun, then try and find something that makes you tick. Take a notebook, write down things that you enjoy doing, and see if there's a trend. So keep like a journal or something as well. It's really useful. I have so much advice, like I don't know how to condense it down. So you can follow me online on Twitter or my blog, because I share a lot of my own journey on there. So if you want to dig deeper, you can sort of follow me on Twitter at the Kimmy Cola, or you can follow my blog, Curiously Codes. And yeah, I think that's the advice. Yeah.
That's brilliant advice to end on. Thank you so much, Kim, for sharing your experiences with everyone. I think it's been really useful to hear all about it. And yeah, definitely keep in touch with Kim if you're interested in following her journey as well. So thanks very much for your time today.
Well, thanks everyone. Bye.
Thank you.